Hello, everybody, and welcome to our new set.
Love that.
So, new set, new wine glasses. No more crappy sheet. You know what? I'm not even going to shade sheets because I love sheets. So
I
whatever.
love a sheets moment.
So, no more. We've leveled up the set, so we're leveling up our glasses. And we're raising our glasses.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh my gosh, I'm like dripping all over me.
Today, we're going to talk about how we got into the industry, and maybe it could be helpful to others in the industry. Or maybe not even in our industry, maybe in any industry.
I mean, I feel like my breaking into the industry is different than yours.
Well, because you started as a hairstylist in a salon.
Correct.
So let's talk about the wedding industry and how we connected, maybe.
Gosh, that's going back.
I know. Like, literally, we've known each other for almost 10 years. But it
That's
feels like,
actually crazy.
It's crazy
because it feels like it's been way longer.
But then you
than
look
that.
at like your memories on Facebook, which I don't really get on Facebook, but it does remind you. And you look and you're like, when was that? Like, I don't even like, and it was like 8 years ago, but 10 years. That's like breaking barriers. That's
10
crazy.
years.
So we got our start when? 10 years ago. And you were working for someone else who shall not be named.
Oh my gosh.
All I can say is her nails were upside down because she wore them in squares. But whatever.
Correct. She had the Teresa Caputo nails.
Yes, and if
No
you don't know who
shade
she
again.
is, look her up
No
because she's
shade.
a vision.
But
She's the
I don't even know
something
how to say
medium.
this without naming.
we're not going to name
We're
names.
not. Okay.
She is.
Yes. The description is
Yes.
on point.
So you were working with her, and I was hiring, and I was all by my lonesome for a very long time. I was on my lonesome for like 5 years, and so it was lonely.
How did you do that without me?
I don't know. And it was like sad because like you're all by yourself on a wedding. And that's what I wanted to get to I wanted to talk about was like working alone versus working with a team. Right. And it's really hard to find people that you vibe with.
I
and
literally
trust.
don't know how you worked.
I don't either.
Seriously.
I mean, I tap dance all damn day alone.
That's what I mean. Like the
You
days
know?
where we're like deep in it, I'm just like, how the fuck did you do
And it's
that?
every single wedding. It's every single wedding is like that. Like you're in your bubble and you're working and you feel so alone. Like, am I doing this? Am I doing well? And people need you and they're asking you questions. It's like, imagine that heavy all by yourself.
It's like not even
It's
just
so scary.
It's literally getting in the car.
Yeah.
Loading up your stuff, driving in the dark by yourself,
Yeah.
getting there, unpacking,
Yeah.
doing all the hair, and then getting in your car. And like literally at the end of the day, that's what like makes it amazing to me is that like you and I both get in the car and we're like, like we vibe. We're like, what the? I can't believe that,
I know, like, but to do it alone
But to
is
do that
scary.
alone?
Yeah.
That's
So when I
fascinating.
decided to like branch out, like we bumped into this is crazy because Sade actually lived in my neighborhood or I lived in yours, whichever, and we had no idea, and we were only 4 houses down from each other. But she was working for this other square nailed person, not Coffin, boom, and I was
But
like,
that is crazy. Hold on, because can we that is crazy. Like
That's
the fact
fate.
that we lived in the same neighborhood and
crazy.
had no
It's
idea,
fate, for sure.
Like literally, that's
And in
how
the
I
same-
feel. I truly feel that way.
And then the same like
I mean, I don't know
realm-
how you feel about me, but I do
Oh
feel
my
like it
gosh.
is fate
I know.
for sure.
No, but we have absolutely gotten 1,000% closer. But it is really crazy because literally, it's not like in the next street. It was literally like 4 houses down. And we used to when we first started talking, do you remember we used to use, what was that app? And we would walkie-talkie all day.
WhatsApp.
No, it wasn't.
It was?
It wasn't. It was the one with the orange guy on it.
Voxer.
Voxer.
Oh,
Because the woman that she worked with the square nails used to use Voxer.
I totally forgot about Voxer.
She used to use Voxer to communicate with us.
I mean,
remember?
now that seems so dumb for us to be like,
Hey,
yeah, girl. So, da-da-da.
But that's how we-
walkie-talkie.
I know, and we used to always go like this.
Walkie-talkie.
I'd be like, so what are you doing today? You'd be like, side note, da-da-da-da. It was always side note,
Side note.
and it would be like all recorded. But like you were working with her.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that.
Yes, and she Voxered like all
That
the
is
time. That
insane.
was like her thing. Like, what are you doing? What? Da, da, da. So, this woman sees it like I stole Sade, but Sade is her own woman. Like, she can make her own choices. I was not holding a gun to her head saying, come be with me.
No.
But the vibe was right, and it worked. And like the first time we worked together, wait, was that with Braless girl?
It was with Braless. It was in Charlottesville.
That's right. I'm trying to think whose wedding that was, but
I don't know, but
Oh my
I just
gosh.
remember it was in Charlottesville, and I was like so nervous because I was like, oh my God, like I've never done
Right.
like bridal. Like the most I had done at that point was just doing like
well, you faked it good.
updos in the salon.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Which, those of you that are hairstylists in a salon, you understand.
I mean, I think about that now, like knowing you now, you probably like, what the fuck? But
No, I
also
wasn't.
I like was so nervous, but also I loved you so. I was just like, I want to work with her.
I know.
And
then
I
we vibed.
yes. And I was like, I have to get this job.
But our inexperience together, like, made us stronger. And, like, I mean, there is a point in your job or your career where it's like you think you know everything. And I was like, oh, I'm 5 years in. I know how to do it. And no, like, styles are getting more complicated. Makeup's changing every day. Like, all of these things are changing. So you're like, oh my gosh, like that, the fact that we were that inexperienced. But then I look back at some stuff and I'm like, how did I do that? That's
I know.
amazing.
I look at
Like,
your old stuff all the time, and I'm like,
like,
that is amazing.
it's crazy.
Sometimes I look at it and I'm like, that actually wasn't that bad for the time.
Yeah, dated, but it's still good.
Dated, but not
still good.
Not horrible.
I mean, remember, and like any of you that are out there that are like, oh my gosh, like I never stand in front of the client because I'm too scared. I stand behind them and I work on the bun for an hour. Like that was us. Like we used to do that. I remember looking across
we would
the room.
pull up to a venue and be like stressed.
Like I hope no one asked
and
for
it
this.
wasn't even like anything crazy.
Like a Dutch
now I
braid.
think about it and I'm like, whatever. But like then
but experience builds like confidence, and that's the thing is like, I mean, and it does help to have someone that you're working beside, and it does take a really long time to put a team together. And I mean, our team is amazing, and everyone I think is on the same level, and we all can walk in and like I think the biggest like curtsy to us is when someone shows us a picture and every single time we nail it, because people, they don't want you to be like feeling. They don't want to be like, here's what I want, and then you do something totally left. Like you should be able to give a client what they want, and I feel like it took us a long time to get there.
I mean, it definitely took us a long time to get there.
Not to get there, but to have the confidence to stand in front of them and go, no problem. And you do have to consult, and you do have to talk to the client. We're not robots. Like we need to like, communicate is important, right?
I feel like though, what are like, how do you feel about like tips, like for somebody like new coming into this?
Definitely find someone who, I mean, we could talk about Kristen in that way, because Kristen came from New Jersey from 2 years ago, found me on Instagram, found us on Instagram, and was like, I have to work with you guys. And then stalked me, and she will tell you this herself when she's here on the Halloween episode, hopefully.
Love you, Kristen.
We love you, Kristen. And literally left like 10 messages and was like, I have to work with you. I'm moving to Virginia, blah, blah, blah. And I mean, the moment we met, it was like kind of, I mean, it will never be me and Sade. Because we're in love. But,
I feel like everybody knows that. Everybody knows that, yeah.
Back to the lesbian thing again. But, I mean, I definitely feel like the best advice is to, like, find someone whose work you worship. Don't seek out somebody that, like, you feel like you're better than, or like I'm better than they are and I can. No. It's a team state of mind. It's like when we walk in, we're not in a competition. When Sade does a great job, I am honored that she's on the team, and I like want you to soar, and like that's how it should be. It should be like, I want to work for someone whose work I respect. I want to, try it out, like get to know them, and like, do well. And I mean, it's that simple. And I don't think that it should be a competition. I don't ever think that. And like a lot of people say community over competition, and that is a lie.
That's not true.
It's a lie.
It is a lie.
It is a lie, because you and I are always willing to help. We're always willing. If we are available and an artist needs help, we always do it. And I think that's like the state of mind that you have to be in, is like, getting started, it's tough. You're never going to have all the makeup that a professional has that has been doing this as long as we have. You're never going to have the experience, but you should definitely step into the territory and try it.
I mean, I think it's fake it until you make it.
Fake it until and we.
I mean, it's
that.
definitely fake it until you make it. I mean,
we did that plenty of times. And there's times where I walked over to her and I'm like, I don't know how to fucking do this.
You do, but I'm like, why are you walking over?
But
like
also
literally, you do the same thing.
I
Like
know.
where you're like, it's like the same. I mean, I feel like that's the thing. Like it's like.
The fucking midi you did takes me out.
Fake it
like everyone.
Make it.
Right.
Nobody's judging you.
Right.
Nobody knows that you've just started or whatever you're. Because I feel like that is part of it. Like you get in your head, and you're like, oh my God, I'm gonna suck. Whatever.
You do.
But it's not. But
it's not. But you should be able to lean on the people that you work with and like be able to have them guide you. And I'm not afraid to ask questions. I don't know everything. Certainly, I don't know everything. But like, if you can go, oh my gosh, what do you think? And if you can feed off of each other, I think clients appreciate that too.
I mean, I think the same thing for like when you're in a salon.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like that was my background. I had a salon background, so like I was used to, the clickiness, the fights. Like, I mean, salon life is like
hair and shit.
I mean, like salon life is like family life, but cattier.
Cattier.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, and the industry is so flooded. It's like, I would love to have a team of 25, but it's like, how do you find people who vibe together? They want to learn. They're not in competition with you. I'm sorry. I'm never going to be that girl. I'm never going to be that girl, and neither are you. And certainly.
But we see that.
But we see it all the time, every single weekend, if there's someone else on a wedding.
I mean, the whole competition thing, like, I do really feel like people say that there isn't, but it's definitely there.
And we talked about this in another episode where it's like, if every wedding is aces for you, you're a damn liar.
Correct.
So it's like, we know, because we've been in the trenches, I mean, 3 deep this weekend. And it's
because it's like, you know, as much as you want to pretend like you slay it every time.
Right.
Everybody who does hair will tell you that you've had a day where the bun looked like a Cinnabon.
Or the lash didn't fucking stick.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, the fucking Cinnabon.
The Cinnabon bun. And it's like, it's inevitable because you have hair down to here, and now you want me to put it up into a bun. It's going to look Cinnabonish.
And now we're Cinnaboning. And it's just the way it is.
We've all had bad days.
Yes.
Or someone got burned. Or
and it's probably us because we have like 25 stars.
Someone has gotten burned. Somebody didn't like their hair. Somebody didn't like their makeup, and now they're crying in the bathroom.
Right.
I mean, we've all had days where we thought we did great, and
but you should be able to like count on your team to like if you're feeling some type of way, like we all do that. Like, to be able to look over at you and be like, oh my God, like, what the fuck? Like, I just, like, you really do need to work for someone who supports you. And that's like the end story is like, trust the people you work with. It's not a competition. There's the industry is flooded with weddings. I mean, there's a shit ton of weddings out there. So, I mean, there's plenty of work. So, like, can't we all just get along? That's all I'm saying.
No, but I mean, I do feel like that would be one hell of a reality TV show.
That's all we want is to be on Bravo.
Correct.
And like
Andy, if you're listening,
Cohen,
like I'm telling you,
Luann.
like that is like the wedding industry for like hair and makeup. Like I don't think people realize like how cutthroat it is. I mean,
let us show you. Put us on reality.
Correct.
Because let us show you. And you can meet all of our frienders.
I mean, because it's like all things combined.
It's all the things.
It's the weddings that you're going to.
Yeah.
It's whatever we have going on in our personal lives. It's getting there and tap dancing. It's literally all the things, like the drama that unfolds at weddings. Like,
you know what? Let's talk about this. Zach, you do not know about this.
What?
This past weekend, the baby.
Oh my gosh.
This is literally insane, y'all. And it hit me, sorry to interrupt, but you know, we go off on a tangent. So we did this wedding and we were like on time per usual. It was going great. And then this girl that was a bridesmaid, she was supposed to have her baby within the week. She ends up giving birth the morning, 12:45 in the morning of the wedding of her best friend. This girl, and I'm telling you,
when you have a baby, like you are literally, first of all, you're exhausted. You're in a diaper.
Yes.
Like it's all the things.
You're on drugs half the time.
I just remember being so exhausted.
Oh my God,
and
literally.
Like being like thrilled to have the like disgusting steak that they were giving me. Like, you know, I mean, it actually really wasn't disgusting. It actually was amazing. The dinner that I had was amazing. Shout out to Johnston Willis Hospital.
Oh, yeah, mine was St. Francis. They were like, would you like filet today? I'm like, fuck
correct.
Yeah.
Like literally, it actually was amazing. But it's just like the fact that like, that is not even where my brain was at. Like, if it was you, I love you, but also I will not be there.
So anyways, the bridesmaid was like, I will never make excuses for anything ever again because my girl dropped a baby in the morning and came to the wedding and was a bridesmaid and got hair and makeup.
The baby was fresh.
Literally put her baby in a stroller and came to the wedding.
Fresh.
Drove 45 minutes from the hospital after dropping a baby about, I don't know, 7 or 8 hours
Fresh
prior.
out of the vagina.
Fresh
out of the vagina.
Literally dropped a baby. And
that's a good friend. That's
fresh
that's a
out
great
of
friend.
the vagina.
Can you believe that? Like, we literally were in shock, I think.
I mean, like, literally.
Wow.
Fresh out of your vagina.
Fresh out of your vagina.
Literally in the big, squishy diaper. Like, it's just all the things. Like, there's no way.
By the way, smiled the entire time.
She was wonderful.
I was like, how are you feeling? Like, are you stressed? And she was like, I feel great.
She was
I'm so happy to be here.
She was the most unbothered individual. I'm like,
you're
it almost felt like we were being catfished. It's like, did you actually give birth to this baby?
I know. I'm like, let me see the baby.
I'm waiting for Ashley.
Let me see the diaper.
To pop out.
I know. Surprise!
It's actually
surprise.
Not real.
It's not real.
Because
how does
why
that make
was
you
she
feel?
so unbothered?
She was so unbothered. I have so much respect for her.
So much respect.
Literally
for her.
could not have ever in a million years. Number one, been away
That's
from
the
my
power
baby.
of a woman.
But also, to be fair, she is a nurse. And no, she's an anesthesiologist. I was like, you're a nurse doctor. I don't know the.
What is that? Where are you going with this?
I'm just saying she's in the medical field, so I don't know if maybe because she knows her body a little different than the rest of us. Because I'm like, that shit just came out of my body. I'm not going anywhere.
Listen, maybe there's something to that.
I don't know.
I just know my headspace was I'm fucking dehydrated and I'm thirsty.
I'm not gonna put dress
I want to tell you, I like deep throated a sandwich from Subway.
Did you really?
Yes. Oh my God. I was so hungry.
I was trying.
Oh my God. I was so hungry. I was like, literally, I want the Italian BMT.
You literally did eat?
I deep throated an Italian sub after I gave birth. Absolutely 110%.
That's amazing. I was too busy trying to get a baby on my teat. I was
this was like after that.
Literally wanted to die. Milk Mafia was like, you don't need to do. I'm like, no, I'm not down. But
the third time around, I was like, yeah, no, the Milk Mafia is not coming for me. I'm like, you will just give love you winter, but you're just gonna get formula.
But my girl, like, she was smiling. She was elated to be there. She was, I mean, it was amazing. Like, I've never ever seen anything like that. And like, I mean, I almost don't even believe it had I not seen it.
You've seen like people who like might have been fighting cancer but
struggles,
to like have a baby
or lost a parent or you know, like,
but I mean to literally deliver literally hours before coming is just
crazy.
Insanity.
It's insanity. I know we went off on a tangent, but I was like, I wanted to talk about this because I hope she sees this because I hope she knows
I
that,
was
like,
in disbelief.
I told her, I was like, we are going to drop your, like, every time I'm having a bad day or feel like I can't do something, I'm going to be like, she had a baby and came to a wedding. My girl dropped a baby.
Okay, but don't say that to me if it's... Don't say that to me, though. You can say it to everybody else. Just don't say it to me.
Be like, Sade, remember that one time that girl had that baby and came to a wedding? Remember that?
I'd be like,
I don't want to go, but remember?
Right.
Exactly. Oh, I don't know. But anyways, yeah. So, you know, breaking into the industry it's tough, but if you find your people, you find your tribe. I mean, who would have ever thought that I would find a best friend out of, like, working with, like, I mean, I never would have thought that, and I never knew I was missing that either. So maybe you're doing yourself a disservice by working on your own, and, you know, like, you should open yourself up to working with others. Like, you'll still get the glory, but your people will get glory too. And I love that for, like, you should support other women. It's important. We're out here grinding.
While we're on this topic, if you are in a situation where you are working for somebody and they are making you come slave away, putting moisturizer on people's faces for hours, what are you doing? Because it's like, I feel like you and I have seen that happen a lot, where people get into a situation where it's
you're
like
not a bitch, like
being an assistant, and it's like, I would never have gotten to where I am today if you had me doing assistant.
If you were holding my bobby pins.
Correct. I mean, like, or curling people's hair so that I could prep them for you. I mean, literally, like.
Do you think that breaking into the industry, that's a good place for someone to start?
I don't.
It's sort of like.
I really don't, because I feel like it's just.
There doesn't need to be an apprenticeship in this industry. That's kind of how I feel about it. It's sink or swim, bitch.
In a salon, that's a different story. Like, you're like putting color on people's heads, and you're doing all
chemicals.
Correct. So like that works. But for this, it's like, how am I ever going to learn and level up if I'm just coming and
because so much of it is confidence.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, I would say 40% is hair and makeup. The rest is personality, how you dress, the respect you're giving people, having stories, tap dancing. Because a lot of times we work a wedding and there's no music playing. And you are the entertainment.
Which is the fucking demise of my life. I swear, like, if somebody was like, you can go jump off this bridge right now, I might. If I had to work a wedding with, like, no sound. Like, it's just.
Yeah. But there are days where it's not going to be an ideal situation. And, like, you starting off as an assistant is not going to teach you to be confident and walk in there and how to talk to people. Not that you don't know how to talk to people, but you do need a confidence about you to walk in a room full of people and own the room.
And it is scary. Like, it is scary when you do your first person, because you're like, oh my God, like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, you're like, I'm holding this curling iron. You know, like, it's all the things.
But holding my bobby pins is not going to show you the ropes.
Absolutely not.
So, I mean, if you guys
putting lashes on people, and
It's just
maybe,
not,
but
maybe.
No.
I'm not going to have you come on a wedding and work that way. And I mean, no disrespect to people that have assistants, but like for me and you, it's like they're not learning anything. At this point, you're my bitch. You know what I mean? I might as well put a leash on you and walk you around.
It's so demeaning, like especially when there's like times like you're just standing there and it's like
it is demeaning.
You know, why would you ever do? I don't know.
We've seen this a few times now.
Moral of the story is do not put yourself in situations where you're somebody's bitch.
I agree with that.
You know, I don't like because my whole thing is like, what is the pay for that? What does someone make?
Probably $10 an hour.
Yeah. No.
Trust your gut. Like
it's not worth your time.
Yeah, if someone, I mean, maybe it's a good idea for someone. Let's say she's 18 out of cosmetology school and isn't sure that she wants to try weddings.
Okay.
I'm like, okay, I would call that shadowing. Come shadow me. I'm not going to have you standing there on a leash tied to a pole handing out bobby pins. That's just like disrespectful.
Help.
You did it. Oh, good job.
Good job.
I don't agree. And I mean, we've seen it to where it's like demeaning and I do not appreciate that at all. Because then it's like, people don't want to work in the industry because they think that that is what it's about, and it's not. It's not that at all. So
I mean, but then I feel like also to piggyback off of that, like what you said, as far as your appearance does matter. You know, like I do think that it sounds shallow and it does sound terrible, but I feel like
I don't think it sounds terrible.
I do feel like when you're selling beauty,
you're selling beauty.
It's like, I mean, because essentially that's what we are doing. We are selling beauty, and it does matter. And it's like the makeup artist or the hairstylist that's coming to work, and you know, you look like a slob kebab, and you know whatever. Nobody, you know what I mean? Like that's not the person. Chris Appleton is not Chris Appleton because he has a greasy bun, slick back bun. Right. You know, Chris Appleton is Chris Appleton.
I mean, I think put together is important. Like, if you're not a makeup person, that's okay. But, like, look presentable. Look the part.
I mean, and we've had a moment where we were like, oh, like,
God, I know.
You know, and you feel like you look like Frankenstein. But moral of the story is we do not look like Frankenstein. But we just feel that way in our head.
But you own a room when you walk in and you're confident and you're put together. And you can't be having these... I've seen kids that I'm like, how are people looking at that and wanting you to touch their face? It's like, you are a vibe. When you walk in the door, you should be personable. You should look put together. It doesn't mean you have to have the best of everything. It's just like, own it.
I mean, I think cleanliness, you know, like...
Please.
It's okay to have a little high-low moment, like have an elf this or whatever that, especially when you're just starting out, you know, like obviously nobody expects you to have like
just reach out to us and we'll tell you what you should have in your kit. And if you're just starting out, you're not going to be able to afford all the things.
Correct.
But if you get aligned with a good team and with people that genuinely care about you and want to support you, i.e. Taylor, I'm slowly putting her hair kit together.
Correct.
It's like someone who respects you as a person, as an artist, that genuinely wants other women to succeed is going to be there to support you. The end.
100%.
Love Jenn and Sade. So that's it. That's all I got on that.
You wouldn't want an obese person selling you gym equipment. It's the
Correct.
It's the same thing.
It's the same thing.
I mean, as horrible as it sounds, it is. I mean, that's the truth. I mean, I feel like people do. It is an industry where people do care.
They do.
And people can say like, "Oh no, it's not about." Yes, it is. Girl.
It is.
Yes, it is.
It's not just Instagram. I mean, you're scrolling, you found your team, and then you show up, and it's like nothing like what you thought.
It's true.
And you know, Joe Blow is now doing your makeup, and flip flops, and no, that is not. First of all, you're at venues that are like top dollar. It's just like you should have enough respect for your client, enough respect for yourself. I mean,
because you're selling because it is a brand.
It sounds bitchy though to say.
It does sound bitchy. It does.
But we haven't gotten where we are.
It does sound shallow and it does sound bitchy, but it is like one of those things where like you're selling a brand you're selling yourself. You're selling yourself.
Yeah, no,
that sounds
a lot of it. But
selling yourself.
You're selling your soul and your body. No. But I just think, you know, that is really important. And it's like, maybe you don't have the best clothes. Maybe just like care about your appearance, care about what you look like, care about what your kit looks like. I know it's the end of the day and you just worked a wedding and it's 8 p.m. and you don't want to clean your brushes and your kit and wipe everything down. It doesn't matter. Just do it because you should have self-respect. I mean, the end. That's it. It's like, it doesn't matter. Do I feel like doing fucking laundry? No, but I have to because I don't want to wear dirty underwear tomorrow. Hello? Not that my underwear is dirty because it's spotless.
Right. But I mean, laundry
it's a
demise
point
my
of
life.
Yeah, it's demise my life
Literally
too. But
demise my life.
just care about your appearance. Trust the people you're working with. Really do your research. Like, come work with us. We're the most fun. The busiest.
Oh.
Booked and busy.
Wow.
Booked and busy.
We are booked and busy.
And we're turning weddings away.
I do feel like we are fun to work with. I mean, I
agree.
think that we are a lot sometimes, and I think it is probably intimidating because, but also I do think that at the end of the day, we want to see people do well, and we do care.
You can penetrate this circle, but
It's true.
It's not going to break it. Nothing. It's like we welcome anybody. I mean,
I feel like we've added new people to the mix, and I love that for us.
We've had a few come through that it just isn't a good fit, and it's like, and I don't take it personally, and neither do you. It's kind of like, that's not, you found your lane somewhere else. You're working for yourself. You're working for whatever. But I'm not over here like, I hate them because they didn't want to work for the Look, no, I don't want you on my team if you don't want to be here.
Correct.
No, and that's no shade. That's just like love. Like, good for you. You're successful. I'm happy for you. You know? It sounded fake, but I did mean it. Sorry, there was a hair on my lip. I'm like, But, genuinely, it's the community over competition that people scream that it makes me crazy because I'm like, you're a fucking liar because you don't think that. I definitely think that.
Listen, I think that there's a lot of shady boots.
There's
like I said, Andy, call us up because
come on a wedding with us. Our brides would live for that because they're all Bravo fans. Hello,
hit us up because that is a cash cow right there.
It's a cash cow that you
literally that they have not tapped into quite yet. But
and I don't want TLC. I want Bravo.
Correct.
Yes.
And nationwide, there are little hair and makeup artists all over the U.S.
I know.
With all sorts of drama and all sorts of
stories.
skeletons and crazy shit in their closet that is ready to be spilled out.
That's what I'm saying. I agree with the statement.
Starting with us.
I mean, but also we should.
But
be
we're
the main
first.
Ones. But also we
Just
should be the main ones. We will be glad to tour others and do the interviewing.
Correct.
And Zach will come along, of course, because he's a part of our family now.
Absolutely.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
I'll be here.
But I'm like. I mean, that needs to be the trajectory.
Agreed, because, like, I'm turning away weddings every day because we don't have...
I mean, I think that's another part of being in the industry. I mean, it's not breaking into the industry, but I feel like that's another thing. We see people all the time come and go. People get in, they want to make money, and they get into it, and they realize that shit is not easy. It's not easy to fucking... throw on your back and lug it up a bunch of steps at the venue because they don't give a shit about the vendors. Like, I mean,
no, it's fucking true. It is. And it's like...
they had the bridesmaid that hated everything that they did and was not impressed. And I'm telling you, we've had days where we were like...
Yeah.
I mean, like, literally, where we've sat in the car and we're like...
Do
we
happen?
Fucking suck?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like you're like, should we be doing this job?
Yes.
And it's literally someone who knows nothing about makeup, who never wears makeup, and they work a desk job.
Correct. Who has convinced you that you are a piece of shit.
Right. and none of your products are good enough.
Correct.
Right. And what you did to their face was the worst thing they've ever seen.
And now you should go drive your car off of a bridge.
Correct.
I'm like,
away from weddings.
That has happened so many times. I feel like that has happened so many times where, yes, that is another part of it. Like,
it is.
Don't get into it thinking that it's just going to be money, money, money. And,
because sometimes the money isn't worth it.
Sometimes the money is not worth it.
Not.
And we have seen people come in and think that is, and be like, today was my last day. I am done.
And like the timeline is not the timeline. The timeline is when they want you to fucking leave.
Correct.
Because there are days like this weekend we thought we were done and then we weren't. And you're just like, wait.
Correct.
I'm like packing my shit.
Whatever you think it's gonna be,
it's not
what it's gonna be.
It's not. But you have to be able to roll with the punches. You have to be flexible.
Yep.
You have to tell little Bobby Sue at home, like, I know you want to see me, but I'll be home as soon as I can. And you say 2, well, it's gonna be like 6.
I mean, I think the key right there is the flexibility.
Yeah.
I mean, we went to the rodeo this weekend, had so much fucking fun.
Oh my God, I love a bull rider.
But
I think I should be Western.
Getting there, we were like,
frazzled.
Yeah.
We literally finished a wedding. Was that the baby pop out one?
I don't know, this weekend. I blacked out
blur.
through the weekend. It was
I
blacked out. We literally were what? Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
finished Sunday way over, like a little bit over time because we had to do touch-ups and then
Correct.
we couldn't get out because
Which,
everyone's in our
whatever.
way.
Part of the job.
Part
Who
of the
gives a
job.
shit? Right.
You know, do your last looks and then you step out and then we came all the way back home, changed our clothes, got into our Western outfits were cute, but they could have been cuter because we didn't have much
They could have
time.
been cuter, but you know, time was of the essence.
Yes, we decided that now-
tucked and rolled, jumped in the
rolled.
car,
Yes.
drove there.
It
It starts pouring down rain.
and lightning and thundering.
Had fun at the rodeo,
Oh, I love a bull rider. In case I didn't say
and
that.
then and then we got the pina coladas. Those pina
pina
coladas were
coladas.
fucking amazing.
Oh my God, I've tried to get some for today and they were, But,
Love a pina colada.
yes. We also were discussing that
And then woke up the next day.
did a wedding.
Yes.
Yes.
Literally showered, did a wedding, and then it was done.
And then it was done. And then we were like,
And then
sad
we're
it was
back, and then
over.
we go back into
Mom life.
Momland.
Yes. Agreed. So it's not easy.
You know,
but
it's not easy.
it's not easy, but we smile through it and we
Yeah.
have a good time. And if you are alone and you're doing this, you wouldn't feel the same way. You would just be like, because every time we get in the car, we're like, fuck yeah.
Yeah. I feel like people ask that all the time. Like, how do you guys like stay like moms and you know
Cute
stay
and
cute
hot?
and blah, blah, blah.
I don't
And
know.
I'm like, I actually really don't know.
I think because we're busy. I think because
Yeah.
we don't really have downtime, right?
I feel like no. I mean, our downtime is scrubbing
Toilets.
Correct.
Scrubbing
Downtime
toilets.
is laundry, trying to keep
Yeah.
up with our kids,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
getting the house, getting the museum
The museum.
in
Sade's
tip
house
top
is a
shape,
museum.
getting the museum
Yes.
in tip top shape, only for it to be destroyed in less than.
5 minutes.
Correct.
Because the kids came through like a hurricane.
I mean, it's the truth.
Yeah. That's why I started picking out my outfits at the beginning of the week and putting them on a wardrobe. So I can be like, chick, chick, chick.
I don't go that hard, but I do like night before.
You do.
I do.
I do.
I do.
I do. We were talking about bringing Western wear into. I'm loving the
Listen,
Western.
the
There were
rodeo
so
this
many
past
cute
that
outfits.
that was so much fun. I'm not even gonna lie, I didn't know what to expect, but I
Me
wasn't
either.
expecting
That good of a time.
it to be that fun.
I will say, no one really stayed on the bull very long. I feel like I could
Nobody
ride it.
stayed on the bull. Like,
Yeah.
how many? Like, out of how many bull
3.
riders? How
3.
many? It was just 3.
3 got
I thought
8
it was only
seconds.
2.
I don't know.
You're probably right. It probably was
I did have
3.
one
I
White
don't
Claw,
know.
so I was a little buzzed.
I mean, I think we both were buzzed.
Yeah, a little bit.
But
And then
the White Claw was like also
it was
like this big.
And then it was like we didn't want to go back down and get another one because it was too scary because there were so many people. There were
Correct.
so many people. Like, I don't think I've been in that big of a group of people in a long time. And it was bright in there.
But it was fun.
It was very
really,
fun.
really fun.
Check out Instagram for our photos.
I know. That was
But-
actually a lot of fun.
It was so fun. But I'm saying, like, Western wear at work, no one's doing that. We totally have to.
Okay.
I love a cowboy boot
I'm
moment.
down for a Western vibe.
I know, your whole turquoise
I was
vibe
living
was
for the
shit.
turquoise. I feel like it was channeling like Native American, whatever. I was living for it. I loved
And
it.
I was like punk rock
you were.
Western. I don't even know
were
what
like,
I was.
You were like country singer with an edge, I feel like was your vibe.
Who called me Reba? Oh, that's right. Okay, never mind.
That is, first of
called
all,
me
you
Reba.
don't look like Reba, so there's that.
No, I liked my like edgy.
You looked cute, but it
Western.
wasn't giving Reba. I don't know
No.
who told you that. It wasn't giving that.
Oh, it was
You've
that-
been told a lot of mean things lately, though. You were also told that your hair was green.
Mm-hmm.
Tams.
Tams. Shout out to you, Tams, because now I have a complex in every different light. So thank you for that. But I do
Your
love
hair
my
was
nails.
green. Reba. Somebody said something else to you, and you were like, and I
had
was
a
like,
mental break.
don't. You did.
I have been.
That is our relationship.
It
It's
is.
like me talking you off the ledge because somebody planted the fucking seed.
I
in your head,
know.
and now the wheels are spinning.
I know. I think that if we weren't in the beauty industry, I
Yes.
wouldn't like overstimulate my mind with things.
Yes.
Because like, even if someone says that like I look 35, I'm like my feelings are hurt. Do you know what I mean? And it's like I
You
should
were
be
shooting for
30.
right. You were shooting for
It's like then
30.
I'm like, what am I doing different? Do I need to change my concealer? What did I do this morning? Then I'm like in my
like-
head all day.
You're like going through all the
Yes.
things in your head.
But it's only because I want to look good for my bride.
Correct.
So
I mean, women only really dress for women,
Other
though.
women.
Anyway, I mean, come on, like
It's nice
everybody
when a man
knows that.
notices.
Like, it's cool when men notice, but like, we're not really doing it for them. We're doing it for other women.
Speaking of, when we were like leaving the rodeo, like I was like, no men were looking at us. I was like, what is fucking wrong with these people?
I disagree. I feel like men were looking at us
Were they
when we were
afraid to
like
look because
walking
they were
through,
with their-
but also I feel like it was a lot of men with their significant
We
others.
literally, Zach, we were in the car in the parking garage getting ready to leave. It took a fucking hour to leave. We were in the car longer than at the rodeo, I feel like.
Okay, but
And we were
I already know where this is
blasting-
going. I know where this is
We
going.
blasted, hey, y'all crazy bitch.
Buck cherry.
And the windows were down and we looked hot and no one was paying attention to us.
But
I was
you
offended.
are the type of person
That needs the attention.
if no one gives you attention, you're like, what the fuck? Like, I'm hot
I am.
and no one's paying attention
Are
to
you
me.
guys blind?
Like, literally.
I am that
That
person.
is you.
Yes.
That is you all day long.
Yeah,
that
and
is
you
your
don't give a
validation.
fuck.
If somebody said, if men are looking at, if you feel hot, that is your validation. Versus,
Correct.
I feel like I'm just like, I don't give a fuck. I'm like,
Because you know you look hot.
I'm like, oh, you think I look great? Great.
I know.
I don't care.
You don't need validate. But like it used to be like your validation was enough. And like now I'm like, I still need the other validation.
Now you've
too.
crossed over
I've
into
crossed
getting
over.
more.
I know.
Maybe it was so much they felt intimidated. You know? Maybe. I don't know.
Love
Oh.
that for me. Maybe. I mean, I know that, you know what? Like, there's times where we're on weddings and I'm like, I feel like these people think me and Sade are a lot. You know what I mean?
I think so, but I feel like we're also entertaining. But isn't that like all women?
Yes.
I feel like women are lying if they say that they don't look for that validation.
Agreed.
I mean, if I go to the gas station and I
Yeah.
pump my gas and literally nobody says, or like I don't see anybody,
No eyes.
then I'm like, oh my God, I do look ugly today.
Right.
You know?
Exactly. Like, why did I wear this shade of lipstick? That was fucking stupid.
But that doesn't really ever happen. But
It doesn't.
I love you for that. But also,
know.
yeah.
No, I love getting looked at the gas station.
You absolutely
I love a gas
do.
station
You've-
moment.
Listen, people have tried to fly you out to Dubai. Living.
Literally, we walk into, we won't quote the store, but we walk in there and like, it was
Literally.
literally like he was waiting for us to come in. Because he had his friend he's like, oh, are you single? And I'm like, well, sometimes. And he was like, this is my friend from Dubai. You should be with
mind
him.
you, like we're just pulling in to buy like snacks and drinks for the road, and,
And he's like,
literally
"Dubai,
he's
this is my
like,
friend,
like,
Dubai."
oh, have you ever? And we're like, what? And he's like, by the way, this is my friend. But like, most people would have been like, okay,
Human
hold on.
traffic.
Like, I'm like, yes, I was like, this is
like,
definitely a human
do
trafficking
you want
moment.
to fly in the cargo part of the
Do
plane?
you want to wake up and not have
Do-
organs?
Do you want to be cut open and sell your body
you
part?
were absolutely, you're like, oh yeah, ooh, he's so attractive. Yeah,
It was a lie because he was.
And I'm like, you're actually gonna wake up in a tub with no organs.
like this. They'll find my body cut open. Oh, that would be the worst.
That's terrible, but also,
Listen,
you would be the person
would.
that would be
I know.
catfished or
I really
whatever.
Would. I really would. Like, come into this van. I'd be like, okay.
No, I wouldn't let that happen to
I don't
you.
think I would escape though. It's fine.
I mean, you do have fight in you. I think you could
Oh, I
escape.
definitely have fight in me.
You could escape for sure.
You wouldn't fall for that because you're smarter. Where I'm
I
like,
would
this
be
guy's
like, oh,
paying
hell
attention
no.
to me.
Wait.
I'm going to go get in his van and go to Dubai. You
You
know,
know
like,
what this is taking me to?
oh Jesus, I'm worried. Go for it. Tell me.
I'm not going to share the story.
Do it. What
It's
story?
taking me to the studio with Ashley the other day when you were getting your K-tips put in.
We're not going to talk about that. We're not doing inside jokes, remember? Zach advised against that. So we were having a conversation about
Dead.
masturbation and it went fucking sideways.
Listen, anybody out there that's getting scammed.
I'll tell the story. I don't care, but I won't end with the other
Okay,
part.
don't.
I
Okay,
won't
yeah.
end with the
Leave
mashed
out the
potatoes.
KFC. Yeah, leave out the mashed potatoes.
I
But
get
yeah,
this letter
you guys are
in
gonna
my
die.
email, and it's like, and I was like, it looked different. So I was like, let me click and open the letter. And it's like, I know who you are. It's like, I've been watching you. Your address is blah, 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 and your phone number is blah, 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 and this, that, and the other thing. And
Mind
it's like,
you, I could just see the imagery of you like do like walking back from the bus stop and like seeing this
found
and
it.
being like,
there was a picture of my house, and it was like, I have very risky, like
risque
risque footage
photos
of
and
you
video of you.
on that I'm going to release on the dark web.
And it was like, I know that you've gone to a corn website.
Yeah, porn, not corn.
I always say corn because
Oh,
sometimes
corn.
you can't say.
Oh, corn.
Can we say that, Zach? Can we say
Anyways, it was like, I know
Okay,
that
we're
you
just
went to a
saying.
porn website and I saw you and you're disgusting and all these things. And I was like, oh my God, I was so scared. And it was like, if you do not pay me in one day, I'm going to release everything. I'm telling Sade. And by the way, I'm telling Sade, and I'm like crying, almost crying because I'm like, this person knows where I live and I'm
You were
so scared.
distraught.
And Sade said, release it.
I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I'm like, first
like,
of all,
release the
I'm like,
video.
first of all, Jen, this is a scam. Second of all, release it. I'm
like so scared. I was like, and
You were like,
if
oh
you
my
know
gosh.
me and you knew the whole story, you would be like, do not release it. Don't
No.
release it. I was
the details
so
of the story are hilarious.
I
But
was so freaked out. I was like, I told my neighbor, I was like, is somebody gonna come get me? Like, are they gonna release it? He's like, oh, this is a scam. And I'm like, he's like older. So I was like, I don't think he knows.
I am dead that
Shawty
you
was
fell
like,
for that.
release it.
I'm like, release it. I'm like, if it was me, release it, bitch. And
I
also
know.
share the footage with me so that I can see.
So scary. But then we were
No,
talking
it's
about it with
not.
Ash, and she was like, "Oh, I've seen that on Nextdoor, and there was like a bunch of people that got the
Shout out
scam."
to Ash.
Is that what happens when you get older? Like people start scamming you, and you believe it.
I think more people are like susceptible to being, you know,
but maybe I was on a
scammed
website, and that's why
whatever.
I was
And I
worried.
do feel like you are. There have been many moments throughout our relationship where people have been like, or you have been like, "Is this a scam?" And I'm like, "No, it's not a scam.
Right.
Calm down. You're fine.
Well,
I love you, but that is you.
If you
would
get the
be
same
in
letter,
tub
it's
with
not
the organs.
real.
And yes, also side note, it's not real.
get yourself a friend that tells you
Release it.
That to me was like,
Because I'm like, release
No.
it. I'm like, look, if you really have this, release it.
you know. And but then they did want to be paid in Bitcoin, which I was kind of like, how do I get Bitcoin?
And
I don't
also,
even
am I going to
understand.
get, money for the tape when it's released? Because
Right, because then that, I mean, it would be good. That's what I'm
look,
saying.
if
It would
you
be a good video.
capitalize on it.
I mean, that was not where my head was at the time. I was thinking they're going to come to my house
like,
and get
oh
my
my
children.
gosh, you're like,
they're
they
like, we
saw
know what you
me."
did, and we're going to tell everyone. And I'm like, oh God, I was on a porn website. What do I do? And I'm like, oh my God, I was freaking out.
That is the
freaking
part that took me out because you were like, oh my God, they know that I was in a porn website. Calm down.
And then I started thinking about all like the crime TV where the little camera thing is on, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, and like now the dot doesn't show.
I'm
And like,
not gonna
oh,
lie.
like a whole
This past
spiral.
weekend, I did have a moment though where I was in the shower in the hotel room and they had the vent right
I saw
above
that.
the shower, and I just like thought for a second, I'm like, what if there was a camera?
I know. I thought the
What
same
if there
exact
was
thing.
a camera? And then I was like, yeah, fuck it.
Did you like move slower? Were you like,
I just didn't care. I was like, I don't
I know.
care.
That is like scary though. But I am naive in that way, like sometimes.
I mean, crazy stuff happens.
I know.
mean, but didn't that happen to that woman on like ESPN, like the sportscaster chick, and like
The Aaron chick.
yes,
That is, like,
yes, didn't
Aaron
that
Andrews.
Aaron
Yes.
Andrews?
Oh my
I'm like,
God.
listen,
scares
there are
me.
women out here getting Aaron Andrewed every day.
I know. And it could be me. I don't want to end up a story on like Dateline. You know what I mean?
I'd actually love it if you
That
were a
was-
story on Dateline because I would be tuning in.
But I want
would
to
be tuning
live. Do
in.
I get to live?
I mean, yeah, you're definitely
Oh, okay.
alive in the story.
Okay.
You're not dead. Let's just be clear on that. You're not dead. You're alive, but I would watch it.
I would watch it if you died too. Oh God. Okay, wait. We have gone way off, but
God.
but I do want to say this one thing. So Sade watches so much crime TV that she has an escape plan for her house.
I
okay?
absolutely do.
But her escape plan is throwing her children out the
I am
window,
not ashamed.
where they bounce off the garbage can and don't
Correct.
break anything.
Correct. Or they're hanging from the side.
It's
and they're
not.
going to drop down, and they
It's
have
not.
It's just enough space that they will survive and they won't break any bones.
Aria will survive because she's a gymnast. The rest of them, they're fucked. I'm
Correct.
sorry, but it's including you. You're done.
Listen,
We'll break your ankle.
I'm hanging and dropping. I am hanging and dropping.
And somehow the garbage can is like magically
It is
a
going to be
trampoline.
strategically placed there for my children.
It's a magical trampoline that she like bounces off of and she like lives.
I can't be the only person.
By the
who
way,
has
the murderer
created
is
an
after
escape
you.
Plan. White chocolate. Do you have an escape plan?
Do you have an escape plan?
Absolutely.
What
You
is
gotta
yours?
stay. You gotta stay prepared.
Correct.
Mine's a little different. I usually, not usually. I've never had to. I would just get the gun out of my
Oh, you have a
side
gun?
table. Yeah, you don't.
No, I don't. I have nunchucks. Just kidding. No, I don't.
Listen, you have opened up Pandora. She's like, a gun? Oh. Your whole demeanor.
I know.
changed.
Okay, so you reach into your side table, you get your gun, and you're like,
tell.
drop
Do
it,
tell.
bitch.
Yeah, you let out a warning, and then at that point, they just picked the wrong house.
It's the warning.
Yes.
I love
You
that.
fire 2 shots.
Listen, I
don't
mean,
know.
I
I've
think
never
that's a great
experienced
plan. Listen, the joke is on you because you do not have an escape plan.
I don't, but like in my
Please
mind,
come up with one.
I
Can
sleep
I
on the
come up with one?
outside. So Scott, because
You're going to give
No,
take
no, no.
him.
No, I'm not. I'm like, my plan is because Scott sleeps through everything. My plan is I am closer to the staircase. As they're coming up the stairs, I'm kicking them down and I'm getting my children. And then on the way down
God,
the
I
stairs,
cannot.
they're in my arms, you know, because I'm fucking really strong.
Like, you do. I love you, but Milo is 11 years
And
old.
he's solid too, boy.
Listen, I'm going to say this plan seems a little outdated to me because your
You're
kids
right.
are, this was a great plan about 7 years ago.
I know, you're
The
right.
plan now,
It needs to be updated.
It needs to be an updated
does.
plan. I'm not really feeling the kicking him down the, like,
Yeah.
listen.
I don't know. I am like an undercover badass. Like I'm not really
are.
afraid in those situations because I've been through the ringer. That's for another
That's a
day.
story for another day.
Like, and we keep saying that, but you know,
That really needs to be a story
I
for
know,
another day.
and I feel like a lot of
because
women could
you owe
resonate.
it to them. You
I
owe it to
do.
them
I
to
know.
tell these stories that I have heard
Yes.
that are
I
absolutely
am a literal
amazing.
badass, and I have made it through situations that people just would be like, "Wait, what? That wasn't a movie. No, it was my life."
It actually blows my
The
mind.
book will come out in a few years.
Yeah.
Once I'm like closer to 55, I'll be like, "Let me write a novel." You know,
Who are we kidding? You are not writing a fucking book.
Motorcycle Club Chronicles.
You are not writing a book.
No,
You are not writing a book.
I'm not. I'm TED talking.
It could be audio tape though.
I'm TED talking. I'm a TED talker.
No,
Thanks
because
for-
they'd be like waiting for you after the TED talk. Absolutely
Oh, shit,
not.
You're right.
No way. I can't lose you.
I know. But bitch, I'll watch you on Dateline.
Right. I can't lose you.
I know. I would be so
I
sad.
can't.
I think we've established you need a bat or something. You need something up there.
What about a stiletto? No.
The shoe?
Yeah.
You've been
Yeah.
watching too many
Maybe.
movies.
I
The
don't know.
stiletto, I'm dead.
I mean, I don't
No.
really have a lamp. You know, I don't know. Because what if they're bigger than me? Scott is sleeping during all of this, by the way. Literally is sleeping. Like, I could be like, we are being murdered. And he would
I
be
mean,
like,
like, whatever just happened to just like out the window.
because my bed is in front of my window.
never-
Robbers, you don't need to know that.
Right.
My bed is in front of my window.
Okay.
I mean, my escape plan has to be the stairs.
I mean, it sounds like you need me to hatch a new plan.
I
for
know,
you.
we
I'm
need to
just
hatch a new
saying.
plan.
I'm just saying.
If you have any thoughts, tell us
Please
about
do
your
tell.
own
Let us
like
know.
escape plan because it's very helpful because you never know.
never
And there's
know.
times where I've like woken up in the middle of the night and I'm like, what was that noise? And I'm like, it's a murderer. They're in the house, right? And I'm like, what am I doing? Like, what am I gonna do? And I'm like, okay, engines are on. I'm gonna kick
I
the
know,
motherfucker down the
there's so many
stairs.
moments where I'm like, I've watched way too much true crime because sometimes I do hear shit and I'm like, oh shit.
Oh, this is it.
I'm
This
like,
is
this
it.
is the night. I'm
I
like,
know.
plan is going, and I'm like, oh, it was
I
nothing.
know. And like, honestly, we're over time, but I literally do not listen to music in the shower anymore because I feel like that's when the murderer comes.
Oh my gosh.
And okay, this is another thing. I told Scott, I was like, we shouldn't leave knives on the counter, even if they're in a pretty display, because it's like, choose your weapon.
Okay, that is 100% valid. I do not have any
This
knives on
motherfucker
my
for
counter.
Christmas gets me a knife set that sits in like a clear thing that's like in a fan of like
No.
butcher, cleaver,
Right.
You know, like,
Like,
you know,
Which
you wanna-
body part do I
Right.
want to chop?
Right.
Like,
I'm like, exactly. I'm like, and you know what?
Nobody's doing
Think about it. Have you ever dropped a knife in the kitchen and almost missed
Yes.
your toe? Imagine that, like, with a hand behind it.
hell
You know,
no.
the limb is coming off.
the hell no.
If it cuts an onion, it cuts your arm.
Yeah, let's do away with the acrylic.
I tucked it away. I found
Can
a
we do
cute
away
little.
with the acrylic? Yeah.
Yeah, I tucked it away. I
It
folded
doesn't
it away.
need to be
And
on the
there's a
countertop.
label on it that says knives
Correct.
and chalk. It's cute.
But wait, is the label out on the outside so you know?
Oh. It is, but it's because during.
That seems not safe, but also.
But better than having a fan on the
here's
counter.
the drawer to kill me. The one that's
Knives.
labeled knives. I cannot. literally cannot.
I'm gonna send you a picture of that later.
I love that we've gone like way off the handles at this point, but
I think the people like that.
Let's wrap it on
wrap
that.
it. Let's wrap it.
Breaking
up.
into the industry.
Yeah.
What is your final thoughts on this?
Reach out to the Veil Hair and Makeup Company.
Do his final thought.
I know. Okay, let's do our final thought. Our final thought is reach out to the Veil Hair and Makeup Company because you'll be happy there.
Correct.
Boom. Find someone. If you're not in this area, move here. If you're not in this area, find someone local.
That is not the final thought. The final thought is don't be a bitch. Do not be a bitch.
Don't be a bitch.
Correct.
Don't be afraid to take chances and reach out to someone. And if you see a team you like, reach out. Do not be an assistant. Don't.
Number 3, we already said that. That was number 1.
And number 3 is show up like you mean business.
Boom.
Like, look the part. It doesn't matter what the brand that you're wearing is. It doesn't matter. Like, just look the part. Mean business. Walk in there, be confident, and you'll get the job. And I mean, this industry, there's so much work. It's like we need good people in this industry that trust each other and lift each other up.
You're so wise.
Well, I am 400 years old, so.
Love that.
I'm wise, even though I put knives.
Even though you're like, knives.
I'm not the brightest bulb, but
here's the knife drawer.
Like there's like an arrow with like a little man like this.
Here, it's this one right here.
There's like a neon arrow with like a man. Like
you like kick him down the stairs, and he's like, the knife drawer.
But don't you think if you kick someone down the stairs that they would die? Think about the. Okay.
I mean, I feel like I've watched enough Dateline. I feel like I've watched enough Dateline to where you could survive a stair fall. I mean, how hard are we kicking him down the stairs?
The woman fell up 3 flights of stairs. Remember the guy that like murdered his wife? Remember that whole entire story? And she fell downstairs and literally died.
Okay, but see, I disagree with that.
12 steps.
Because I feel like she was already, I think he just staged it.
Oh, she didn't die on the stairs.
Literally
she died.
Threw her down and then
messed on the walls to make
correct.
It look, okay.
I think it was staged.
Right.
I think it was staged.
Oh yeah, and the end thought is don't get murdered.
Correct.
Have an escape plan. Don't be afraid to bust into the bridal industry and also have an escape plan.
Have an escape plan.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And you know what? You may need it. So don't use the garbage can as a trampoline though, because that's not the brightest idea. Love you. All right. Anyways.
Love the veil.
This episode was brought to you by Dubai Air.
I love it.
I'm going to Dubai. We love you. We'll see you next time.
Keep your organs.
Cheers. Dark web. That is when we're our best.